What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me,
Liam.
and today we are diving into the season finale of one of our newest favorite shows, Paradise, on Disney. Hulu for me, but Disney owns it, so I watch it on both, I guess. Is it Hulu?
The same thing now.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, but either way, we are going to do a full discussion of episode 8, which was the finale of Paradise. If you've been tuning in, we've done the entire season. Really been falling in love with it, and I know you guys have too down in the comments. And as I mentioned, it's more of a discussion, so really been appreciating everybody tuning in down below, commenting, sharing their theory, sharing what they think. It makes all of this a lot more fun. And I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody. We are officially over 22,000 subscribers. That's because you guys are tuning in, hitting that subscribe button, the little notification bell, commenting, and really just making this channel what it is. So thank you guys. And if you're one of those people who are looking for more access, early access to videos, behind the scenes, shout outs on videos, we have a Patreon. And so for as little as a cup of coffee, you can help with the production of these videos, become a member, and get all those cool things I just mentioned. So without further ado, let's dive into the finale of Paradise.
Do you think that they may have wrapped everything up too nicely? That's the feeling I left with for this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's enough threads to pull on to keep going.
Oh, there's plenty to keep going, but it's like everything got answered that was inside right now for what we were exposed to. All the characters got their stories revealed.
Mm-hmm.
Learned about the librarian.
Yep.
That was shocking.
That was a big twist for sure. Let us know if you guys knew that was coming or not, because I couldn't peg that in the beginning for sure.
And that fucking mace was badass.
Yeah.
How Cal died. Sorry, Cal.
It wasn't a mace. It was the drill bit.
Was that a bit? It looked like an ancient mace.
Yeah. It could be used as one apparently, but yeah, it was a drill bit from the mine shaft.
Okay. That's kind of poetic.
Yeah.
Yet probably not, because it looked more like convenience to pick it up and use that as the weapon. It's like the first blunt instrument he could find that could be...
He had, look at that too, is that he had spent 3 years in that library, and he had fallen in love with it. He even said it, like he made himself complacent, he had felt comfortable, it like became a life form, and then he remembered, oh crap, I know why I'm here. So I think he goes to the section of the workers, because you see him walk past the uniform of like the guys who like built the place, the miners and all that. So he goes to like the section of the library that like at least honors them or like remembers them, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it was totally intentional to grab the weapon from there. It's kind of like as a nod to like his people.
Okay. I can see that. But we kind of we got ahead of ourselves, or I did anyway. But we start off with X and Sinatra talking, and she's like, look, you got an ultimatum here. You either do this stuff or your daughter dies.
Yeah.
And so he has to figure out who killed the president. My God, I've never seen a murder solved so quickly in an episode.
Yeah, you know. When you write everything into it, you know, it works.
The whole time I was watching this episode, I was thinking, so while we're going through the series, it starts off in present time where they're at, but also flashbacks.
Yeah.
But the flashbacks get further and further apart as the story is getting further and further along, so the lines are moving in opposite directions. And I thought that was pretty cool how they did that.
Yeah.
Did you realize that too, or come to that realization?
I didn't track it. No, I noticed that there was different jumps because we do go 20 years back early. In this episode, we go 12 years back. So maybe I missed what you meant.
So he runs to the mistress of Cal,
The head of the Secret Service. Yeah. Robinson is her name.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So X goes to Robinson and is like, yep, I gotta go do this. And she's like, the hell they got on you? He's like, my daughter. Good enough reason.
Right, for sure.
And so he goes down this path of trying to figure out what the hell they missed. And he realized the disc that we've been screaming at the TV for the last 3 episodes.
I thought the son already had it, honestly. I thought that was like, because he keeps listening to music over and over and over. And I thought eventually he was going to get to that CD. Like it was somewhere in the mixture of things that he'd stabbed left behind or whatever.
Well, they even showed in this episode how much they are alike.
Yeah.
And Cal even says, I am you and you are me.
Yeah.
And it does make sense. We kind of called that early on in the sense of how they act. They both like the black sheep kind of things.
Yeah, I think it was a nice little nod to him to be like, hey, listen, I know the world that I built isn't perfect, but that doesn't mean you can't change it, right? It's like, you can make a change. And I thought that was pretty cool.
I think that's good advice for everyone, too.
Yeah, 100%. With Sinatra, though, she loses control of the situation in this episode. We see that.
That started the episode before when she's like, I am the monster.
Yeah.
That was the beginning of her crumble.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Because then she pushes away anybody who would actually help her. Like anybody who was actually trying to be there for her, she pushes all them away. Luz is one of her like rogue agents. That chick turned on her for a wee. That's crazy. How just like unstable she is.
She's like, you're fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
She's like, it's done.
Unstable. But luckily, you know, it worked out for X, at least in this situation where his daughter actually got protection and help rather than executed.
Yes.
But yeah, all over a week. I thought that was crazy.
What was the foreman's name?
Which one?
The foreman, the librarian.
The librarian. So Adam was the one he was in love with. What was his name? Let us know down in the comments. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah,
It was Adam and someone, and I just don't remember the other guy's name right now.
He's a clever bastard.
Dude, what? Like, I liked how well he was like the master of disguise. He went from like shaggy to like perfectly balding. It was really, really well done.
Yeah. Hollywood.
I'm obviously making a joke. But yeah, no, I thought that he was a very, very clever job foreman. Like,
yes, and how they tied everything together.
Yeah.
It took a little bit for me to realize that he was the one that was with the boom mic and the 3D printed gun.
Yeah, I mean, they very, very clearly like laid it out for us to make it so easy because I don't think. Let me know. I want to know. Did you guys draw this connection before it was laid out for us? Because I would like to think that it was so obscured that you would have to be like pausing and like looking at every frame, everyone's faces, to be like, oh wait, that's the same guy.
You'd have to hyperanalyze.
Yeah, just let us know because I don't know. You'd have to have a really good eye for that stuff.
I thought that was really cool, though. It was a little odd, though, how he's like, ooh, this guy. Okay. Just because of the kindness he seemed to exude is what I got from that at first. Like, that's why he wanted to go talk to him, be friends with him, is because he was being kind of the outcast, and he was a kind person still and all that. So that looked like the draw for me.
Yeah.
But they built up this relationship, and then they realized that one of the minerals in the mountain, extremely toxic.
Yep.
And not a goddamn thing they could do about, because he brought it up to the guy in charge who Sinatra hired to build this whole thing for them.
Yeah.
And so when he brought up to him, he's terrified for his life too the whole time.
Yeah. Initially, he's concerned for the mineral. He understands the gravity of what had been found.
But
and he knows the site would have to get shut down. But then, as you mentioned, he's more afraid of the powers that be. He even says to him, you don't want to mess with these people.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what you're messing with.
I think he probably brought it up to them, and they threatened him.
Oh, yeah. They're like, no, we're going to continue forward. Like,
well, there's no real choice, though. I understand the thought process behind it, because a few lives versus 30,000, right?
And I think
whatever.
In Sinatra's mind, too, it's about 20, 30,000. They're already dead, right? To her, if you're not on her list of people that's going to be in that mountain, then you're already dead. You're cannon fodder to her. She just wants her civilization to survive. She doesn't care about the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. So yeah, to her, it's just another person, another number.
And she couldn't predict Cal doing the right thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. I think she thought she had more of a leash on him than she did. Like, I don't know, maybe because she thought the dad would help or whatever. But when the dad started losing his mind, I think she really lost control quickly. And we watched the whole thing down, like, spiral pretty quick.
We didn't see him in this.
No, he's still alive.
Yeah, but we didn't see him. So maybe I was wrong about them tying up everything.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's still quite a few threads. Yes, they put a really nice bow on the president's murder, 100%. There is no more mysteries there. He was holding the tablet, got hit in the head, dropped the tablet. We know why the tablet was there. We know what happened to him. We know how he died. We know how they got the DNA. We know how he laid the clues. We know how X solved it. We know all of that.
And why an outsider was the one who committed the murder and the DNA was in the system.
And how these outsiders got in the first place, and that there's more than one of them. And we got all that nice boach. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I feel bad for Maggie, though. She was roped into all this, but she got to survive, and she has survivor's guilt around that. So she's been destroying herself emotionally, internally.
Yeah.
That's why she said she was so relieved when she got caught.
Yeah. And I don't think she did anything wrong, right?
No.
She just, again, went along for the ride to get to safety. She wasn't like offing people or like doing anything like the other guy was.
That was fucking gold with those two people.
Yeah. Just off.
Walked them off to the desert. Bang, bang.
Yep. Stole their identities. I think that they're going to allow her to continue to exist inside of the paradise. Like, she wasn't doing anything wrong. She was a model citizen. She was
they're
working.
going to keep the secret.
Yeah.
They're going to keep the secret.
That's the other thread that we have to talk about that is going to get pulled in season 2. You got Jeremy with the tablet, literally standing there, word for word, talking about the mission statement, about being survivors outside, about Sinatra killing them. So, like, that never got a bow. That's definitely a thread that's left left out there in the wind.
Sure. That's definitely a hook for sure for us to come back next season, and I will absolutely come back next season.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes for sure.
It did get approved, right?
I have not seen anything official. The internet can lie quite a bit. I have not seen anything from an official source.
And fuck you, fake movie trailer YouTube channels. I hate you. I really do.
Dude, I'm telling you,
They're well done, but they
some of
piss
them
me
need
off.
to get hired by these studios. They do better jobs than the studios in some of these cases. They do, like, we hate you because they're so believable sometimes. I was like, you guys do a pretty good job for sure. But yes, also don't say official in the freaking title. Don't lie. Just let us know you made it. Fan made. I'll enjoy that. One thing too, how do we petition to get that fake show with Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey really made? Where they own the weed store in New York City?
That would be absolutely.
I know it was fake and it went around the internet for a while, but I want that to be real. That would be hilarious.
It would.
But yeah, I think there's, they nicely put a bow on a lot of the mysteries. We know now that X is going out into the wasteland, I'm going to call it.
Let's talk about that elaborate step-by-step guide that was created for him real quick.
What Cal left him.
Yeah, what'd you think of that? Like, no detail was left out.
Well, yeah, there's a cut scene in, I think, 2 different episodes where Cal's taking what he has on the tablet and he's copying it into notes, basically. And I think that's what we're seeing is in case the tablet got taken or in case he got killed, which after he challenged Sinatra, he knew was coming. He basically built a guide, a key that he could give to X or to someone and they could go and do what they need to do. I think it was made for X specifically. I was
going to say.
But in case, X got killed, it could go to the daughter or somebody where it's specifically hey, this is the Atlanta base and this is where your wife would be.
So despite Cal's reservations and holding back some information at key points because he truly felt he could not share, he was truly a best friend to X the whole time, even while absorbing X's hate.
Yeah. I think
he was a true friend.
100% correct. The way that Cal is portrayed to us in the beginning is coward, is you're very egotistical, silver spoon, candidate.
Typical or tistical?
Egotistical and typical, both of those.
Okay.
But what we learn is that that's really just a front. That's what keeps people from asking questions. That's what keeps people obey. That's kind of the role he's playing. But he's really behind the scenes when you get to talk to him one-to-one or in an actual serious conversation about the end of the world. He cares a lot.
He does.
He does.
And I'm still blown away by the whole elaborate setup that he planned out to discover or have X discover this stuff. With the whole library Dewey Decimal system.
Yeah.
I had to think of that word. It's been
Dewey Decimal.
It's been so long since I had to think of Dewey Decimal.
Yeah.
For younger viewers, it's how we organize books in libraries, if you still go those things. That whole elaborate setup, I get that it ended up perfect for the story of timing, but the foresight Cal must have had to organize it so deeply. Like he had everything set up. His literal dying breath was like putting the X on the cigarette pack just so X would find that one cigarette with the Dewey Decimal number.
Yeah.
I was kind of annoyed that X went and destroyed that cigarette so quickly before he had a chance to fully know he memorized it. I was like, come on, dude. You're just starting to memorize it as you're burning it to pieces.
Yeah. I mean, that's some spy shit, right? It's like this message will self-destruct in 30 seconds. You better remember it because you ain't getting a second chance.
Yeah, that part, that was cringy to me.
If that's the only thing I have to push to the back of my mind, and unlike other shows where I have to be like, oh, I just got to completely forget logic altogether.
Yeah, but we leave off with, I guess, X flies planes.
Yeah.
Or was that in the step-by-step guide too?
Yeah, right. YouTube video. Easy watching the YouTube videos to fly a plane.
Because he was very comfortable in a cockpit.
Yeah, it seems like it's not his first time, right? Like he knew what he was doing, and yeah, we don't get any, like he's obvious. To be Secret Service, you have training, right? You've been in some sort of military or law enforcement. You've been trained pretty well to be in that branch. But obviously not everybody's aviation trained, so I don't know if that's, what his actual background is. Was he Air Force pilot, and then they brought him over? Like, what was he?
Yeah, the other small gripe I had is they didn't show us the runway because I can't imagine him having a perfectly clear path for that plane.
Like, they were using it as storage, right? It looked like they had everything kind of like just parked and jammed in.
Yeah.
And like the actual inside the hangar itself.
Outside those blast doors, you can't predict. That's
what it looks like.
Yeah, that's all freaking after this apocalyptic stuff happened over the course of what, 5 years?
Yeah, but now we know it didn't happen. Now we know that the EMP went off and that it stopped most of those things from happening.
But you can't stop nature.
Nature is probably
Colorado.
Take back over, yeah. So what are you saying? Like the runway is probably just like over time has crumbled into nothing and now it's just going to fall apart?
I'm saying that there's got to be massive debris on it to stop a plane. I know I'm reading too much into it, and that's okay. I'm just going to give.
I'm trying to follow your train of thought. I like going down rabbit holes and figuring things out. And so, if they're in the side of a cliff face, we know that, right? Like it's in the side of a mountain. And so if the runway comes out the side of the mountain and like you would need a piece of the mountain to fall and block it. So there's no trees or anything that would just like naturally be in the way. They would have already cleared all that.
No, but the trees could have fallen or blown. Any number of those things could have happened.
Well, apparently the producers came beforehand and cleared the runway for him, and now he just took.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense. It was all part of Sinatra's plan to keep the runway clear in case of emergencies.
Well, we can do this at least, right? Theories and predictions from this point on season 2. I believe. Just like they're not going to write a story in which he gets in a plane, that plane has enough fuel and enough maintenance in it, whatever's going to go wrong, for him to fly all the way from Colorado to Atlanta with no problems and find his wife. That's not going to happen.
No.
So,
I'm predicting we get like Book of Eli vibes.
That'd be fun. That was a good movie. So I'm thinking plane runs out of fuel, motor malfunction, something happens, he goes down, and now he's amongst the survivors trekking across the United States to get to Atlanta.
We get a little pocket, and Barb was even laughing about it last night. She's like, yep, and then we're going to have flashbacks to the silo as we go back. I loved it. I think it was a great series. I think everybody that enjoys sci-fi or post-apocalyptic should add this to their repertoire of things that they should watch. And I thought it was wonderful.
I thought it laid out enough story, gave enough mystery, solved enough of it for us, but left enough threads, and I'm excited for season 2 to see where it goes. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments below. Appreciate you guys sticking all the way to the end. If you have, you can probably check out another video you would like right up here. I know you will. And then also another playlist of videos that you'd like right down here, as well as something above my head that YouTube says that you would like. But if nothing else, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell because we drop multiple videos a week. My name's Chris.
I'm Liam.
We'll see you on the next video. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were. You've already come far.